and welcome to another episode of Living Room Wisdom, where your story is your glory. I am Patrina Wisdom, author, speaker, and movement leader, and today I am thrilled to introduce you to a phenomenal woman that I actually admired from afar for a very long time. She's one of the most poised, educated, driven women that I know. She's also in the financial industry with me, and just making a huge difference for so many people, leading, mentoring, developing her business. But again, you know, there's so much behind that pretty face and the poise that today my intention is to peel back some of those layers
Unglued.
and let you get the real Nikki Cannon, okay? So, Nikki, thank you for being here first off.
Absolutely.
And
My pleasure.
short notice, which I super
Absolutely.
appreciate. I'm excited for you to share a little bit in your own words of who you are with everybody else.
Wow, that is a complicated question. I think who I am is very much, comes from my history. I have an incredible history of strong Black women that I am privileged to, carry on what they have, the foundation that they have laid. But I do want to say strong Black women, my mom, my grandma. But the reality is sometimes we take strong and put it with Black women as if we're supposed to be, overcome everything. It's almost sometimes to our detriment.
Yes.
Because
agreed.
sometimes it's like, oh, she can handle it. Oh, she doesn't need that health care. Oh, she doesn't need an extra doctor's appointment. Oh, she doesn't need that scholarship. She's a strong Black woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, so I take that with a grain of salt because I think strong can also mean vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
And, you have weaknesses, and being able to not always be the picture perfect version of yourself, but through your vulnerability, being able to share with other women who, can then really feel and understand your experience. And so, you talk about a community of women, and through my journey of life, I've realized that now at 51 years old, that journey is super important with
It really
with
is.
women, with your community.
It
of
really
women.
is. And one of the things that stood out to me the most is after, like I said, admiring you from afar for so long, but then having the opportunity to actually spend time with you and your husband, Kermit, who's hilarious. I freaking love Kermit. But after being able to spend time with you, it's almost like starstruck. Like you see the celebrities, you see the beauty, you see the shine, and all of that, but then you get to know them. And I'm like, wow, she's a real person. Like she is like hella cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just find that so interesting. And it's important in sisterhood, like you said, to be able to show your real self, your true self. So I really appreciate your answer in that regard, because a lot of people, when you ask them who they are, they immediately go towards the career and what they do.
Right.
So not only are you, an incredible person who's vulnerable and believes in sisterhood and has this incredible lineage, but you're also a mom and a wife. And so tell me professionally, because I know professionally you've had a lot of success in your career. You've helped a ton of people financially and otherwise, even just in the mentorship realm within that business. But tell me how, like, some of the struggles and some of the lessons from still being a mom and a wife and a badass businesswoman, as I call it.
Well, thank you. I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's a great question because it's ever evolving. It's ever evolving. I say I have two boys. My oldest is 25. My little guy's 13, Cassius and Chase. And I think children, for me, I was always that planner. Like I had a plan, and I was going to work my plan.
Yeah.
And then when children come along, they're like kryptonite. Like the plan goes out the window.
Yeah, it's true.
And all of a sudden, I think that was the closest I've ever really been to God, because I really realized that, oh, this is not in my control. Oh, there is a master plan and it's not mine.
Yeah.
And so, I just really, the motherhood thing has been a amazing journey of, it's not always up to me, and sometimes you have to go with the flow, and they are their own little people, and whether you like it or not, they are mirrors of yourself, good and bad, and so yeah, I've really taken great pride in that journey, wearing that hat. I remember when Cassius was born, I was breastfeeding, and somebody told me, there's this group in Santa Monica, and it's a group of mothers, and they're learning how to breastfeed just like you are. And I remember, this is the first time I realized community, how important community was. I go to this group, I've got this little bitty tiny baby, not even a month old, and I was like so nervous that he wasn't getting enough, and all these, I have all these
things we
anxiety.
stress over as moms, yeah.
And then there was this whole room of women who were just like me,
yes,
and having the same anxiety, and had the same concerns and the same worries. And I just remember breaking down crying because I realized, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it does feel good. It does feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that being able to be supported, for Black women, period, is a big thing, because like you said, we're raised to be so strong, and then oftentimes, because we are so strong, we are so resilient, we get I don't want to say like neglected, but
we get overlooked.
It's our
overlooked.
Feelings and our pain kind of gets taken for granted because we show up no matter what, right? And we keep moving forward. I'd love to learn what lessons from motherhood you've brought into your business and your entrepreneurship journey.
Well, I find that, in our financial business, we are team builders.
Yes.
So the mentorship aspect, being able to share and teach people now what I've been doing for 20 years, being able to show them how to do the exact same thing, has been incredibly rewarding, just like if you're raising children.
Yeah, that's true.
But in the same vein, it's just like raising children. So, they're going to be parent deaf at times. when you're teaching them, you don't want them to fail forward, but you realize they kind of do have to fail forward.
They have to have their own journey
in order to learn and have the experiences. So it's very similar in the business, building a team, as the same as building children.
Yeah. Gosh, so much. And you're so good at it. You make it seem so effortless.
Yeah, it's taking work.
Yeah.
It's taking
That's
work.
right.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Work on myself.
Yes.
As well as work on leadership. Yeah.
And then I want to also talk about this dynamic with your husband, because I just love it how opposites come together, or what's seemingly opposites, where in reality you probably have a lot of each other, right? But what seems like two opposites coming together and creating magic ultimately. And if you can talk a little bit about that journey of, you were working with Monster, in the corporate arena, doing really well, and Kermit had his career, and then the shifting, and just, I guess the keys for success in relationship, when you have a powerful man who's very accomplished, and a powerful woman who's very accomplished, and that dynamic and how you navigate that, because typically it's kind of one or the other, and sometimes there can be an underlying energy of competition.
True.
And I don't see that with you all.
That's very true. You used the right word, magic. That was definitely the right word. Next year we will have been married 20 years.
Congratulations.
Together 23.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like when you look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, there's got to be a real magic there, because they are both powerhouses, personalities in and of themselves, and yet he never feels threatened, or it looks like he's threatened by her immense success.
On the contrary, he's like, yes,
let
me help
pull
you
her up some more.
Go higher.
And so I kind of feel like that's what we've developed over time. I think that my husband comes with a level of confidence and discipline and charisma that, when you come into a marriage, you really have to be your own two individual people. You can't be like a half a person coming into a relationship, because then you're looking for the other person to satisfy that other half, and that never works.
No.
And so, so yeah, he's truly, comfortable in his skin, very comfortable in his skin.
Literally.
And literally. And so, he makes it fun.
Yes.
I remember when we were dating, and we've known each other for way longer than we've been together. And he just he makes me laugh, like you said. He's just naturally comedic.
Yeah.
And I said to myself one day, we were just grocery shopping, and I said to myself one day, I said, imagine if you could be with someone who was your best friend and who made you laugh. Because, in marriage, eventually other things are going to go by the wayside.
Right.
And so you got to look at, well, what are the most important things? The things that are the staying power.
Yeah.
The things that, make arguments less is comedy and humor.
And that's
right?
a good one.
And, so that, and then we just got back from Cabo. We went to our good friend's wedding in Cabo. And some advice that I gave them was, because we took that trip with no kids.
Ooh,
And
yay.
some advice that I really gave them was always take a trip just the two of you.
Yeah.
Once a year.
Sure.
So, because we take the kids a lot of places, but we always take something just the two of us, because it's like revisiting your honeymoon. And you just, you throw the baby out with the bathwater, and you set your hair on fire, and you act like you're on your honeymoon again, and all of those feelings come back up again, and that's what keeps it strong, keeps the fire lit.
100%. I
Yep.
think that first priority is self, right? Self-care, self-love, really staying grounded in who you are, and then your partner, and people will argue that, oh, the kids should come first, and that's not so, because before there were kids, there was us, there was this unit.
Absolutely.
And my kids actually tease us because we go on our date night Friday night, we go on a date night Saturday night, we have family day Sunday, we do Taco Tuesday together. They're like, oh, let me guess, you guys are going on another date night.
Like,
you know?
You have to keep that going.
And the kids need to know that's like a boundary. Like, hey, don't get it twisted.
Right.
You're our child, but this
you're
is,
important,
this is the
but
unit.
this is I think that does get lost in translation. That you have to set those boundaries early on.
Exactly.
Really early on, so that children know, okay, this is a different relationship, and I'm important, but I'm not the end all be all here.
No.
So that's really, really crucial when having children.
I have another question for you, and this is just out of sheer curiosity. What drives you in life? Like, what drives you to get up every single morning and do the things that you do for yourself, for your family, for all of the people that you're leading and developing, and probably a million other things that I don't even know about?
Well, that's a good question. I think I've always been internally driven. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I was that kid on the block that had the lemonade stand. I had a lemonade stand, a pink lemonade stand, a Kool-Aid stand. Like, I had all the stands on the block. I wrote my own newspaper when I was like 10 years old, and made copies of it and distributed around the neighborhood for a quarter. Like, I was just always that person that was like, well, what's the next level? Right? Well, what can I do now? And so, I'm very internally driven that way, and I want to have success. I want to be success. I want to make my mom, my grandma proud. I want to, as hard as Kermit works to support me, my husband, I want to, make sure that I make him proud. In relationships, I had a great mentor one time tell me that in a relationship, you can have two kinds of relationship. One where it's suitable, or one where it's compatible, where, you get along and you hang out and you have fun and, you enjoy each other's company, and that's a compatible relationship. But you can have a suitable relationship or marriage means that you each work to make the other one better. And you don't let people rest in their complacency and be complicit with, this is who I am, this is just how I'm going to be. Like, there's always an evolution. You're always evolving, and you're always helping each other to evolve, in multiple areas, in finances, in fitness, in health, nutrition.
Yeah, y'all definitely you'll play on each other.
We definitely, play on
that.
each other. So, and like, he's not the entrepreneur. I am, but I've gotten him into entrepreneur ventures now, so we're constantly like pushing the bar
Yes.
in different areas, which is important. You know?
Awesome. Wow, that is so fun. I love it. I could sit here and ask you questions all day long. But I have a really good one now.
Okay.
So I want to know, what is something maybe silly or crazy or just something that no one would ever guess, like something that maybe a lot of people don't know, a passion, or just, I don't know. I want to hear a fun fact about Nikki.
A fun fact.
Fun fact, or something that would like shock us. Let's go there.
Well, I did go to USC.
Yes.
With John Singleton.
No way.
When he was,
Stop it.
When he was filming Boys in the Hood. So I was on set. I was an extra in the movie. So
I don't know why. I could be making this up, but in my head, I kind of saw a picture. Have you shared a picture? Maybe?
Probably, maybe.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not making
So.
I make shit up sometimes.
So, yes. And then I was on the
That's
set
fun.
of Poetic Justice. So I took pictures with Tupac. And I was
Nice.
showing my sons that I had pictures with Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and they were like, no way.
They're like, oh my God, Mom's cool. Don't tell anybody.
Major cool points. Major cool points. Yep. So,
That's awesome.
so yeah, I've done some things.
That's awesome.
I've done
That's
a lot of really cool things in life.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I always like to ask this question as I'm bringing things to an end. With everything that you've experienced in life, all the success that you've had, the success that's to come, what would you tell a young listener, a young woman out there who, maybe she doesn't necessarily know what direction she wants to go in, but knows that she wants to take control of her destiny and at some point have that freedom and not only freedom in life as far as time and money, but also a full expression of themselves?
That's such a great question, and I think I'm slightly prepared to answer it after all these years.
Yes. Yes.
I think that number one, find the right soulmate. And when I say that, I mean that you have to look for that soulmate. Like, you literally have to make a list
Yes.
of what it is that you want, what it is that you
Don't want. That's the part a lot of people leave out. Yep.
And
Yes.
what are you willing to? What are the deal breakers?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because there's going to be things that you're going to have to, accept about people. But what are the deal breakers? And so, as a woman, if early on you could get very clear what that looked like, then you would save yourself so much heartache.
Yeah.
In the long run. And then I would say, secondly, follow your love. Do what you love to do. Like, work should feel like play, and play should feel like work. When I'm doing what I'm doing, it's 24/7 because I love what I do. Like, I love what I do.
I know you do.
So, and my
it
son
oozes from you.
My 13-year-old will tell you my mom loves what she does, and he can't wait to turn 18 and be a part of the business.
Good.
Talks
So
about it all the
continuing
time.
that legacy.
Generational wealth.
fantastic.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, all the time. So it's a
I
beautiful
love it.
thing.
And you're lucky because you found one thing that just totally lights you up, and you just go 100% full force in that direction.
Yeah. But I did a lot of things before that.
Yeah.
I did a lot of things in search of what that was. And, a lot of times, it, just like finding the perfect man, it doesn't show up like what you thought it would. It doesn't look like what you thought it would look like. But you got to keep.
And similarly to finding that perfect man, because there's conversations of that, right? Is there one soulmate? Are there multiple soulmates? How do you feel career passion wise? Do you feel like there's that one thing, or do you think that there's multiple things, right? Multiple paths that can bring someone the amount of joy and fulfillment that you have in what you found?
Well, I don't deny any previous, career. I don't deny it at all. I have found, when I look back, every career has kind of been like a finishing school. You remember back in the day when we used to go to modeling school? Remember what was it? John Robertson or something like that?
Barbizon,
Barbizon,
right?
yeah. That was
We're showing our age.
that was kind of like finishing school. You know
Yeah,
what I
a
mean?
little
They
bit.
taught you how to walk and how to stand straight and all that kind of stuff. And so I find that all my previous careers have led me to this point. I find multiple things that I do now that I'm like, yeah, that's from when I did that. Did you know I used to be the assistant to the personal shopper at Neiman Marcus?
No way.
I did that for 4 years in
It
college.
used to be my dream job to be a personal shopper at Neiman Marcus.
It was, you would think
literally,
so.
I know.
You
It
would
never
think
is
so.
as glamorous as
It was
it
really all
seems.
about schlepping.
Yeah.
But in the process, I was around such wealth.
Right.
And I was so close to
yes.
people, I mean, not just actors, but producers of studios and directors. And I was just around so much opulence and wealth. And what I realized, because I was in my 20s, what I realized from all that is that money does not necessarily buy you happiness.
Right.
Because I saw so much wealth, but I saw so much sadness at the same time. Like money can't buy you health. It can't buy you fidelity from your husband.
Right.
And so, I just really came to grips with that.
It shaped your identity.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I definitely think that
And the purses and
you
the
can
shoes
have,
and everything else.
Well, I think we've all gone through that phase, right? And then you realize those don't make you happy.
Those don't make you happy either.
Yeah, but
Every once in a while.
I think that along the way, I think it's really important for us to just honor where we're at in our journeys at that time. Because I know for myself, I've done a lot of different things, but I look back and I see the through line of all of it.
Exactly.
That's gotten me to where I am and who I am today. So, well, it was so good to have you. And
Oh, it was my pleasure.
I'll definitely have to have you back.
For
and
sure.
We'll have some more living room conversation.
For the couch talk.
Yes, some more couch talk. I want to thank you for tuning in. I know that you got a lot of nuggets and things that you can take into your life and implement and really amplify who you are and the path that you're on currently. So make sure that you tune in for our next episode. We upload videos weekly and we're always interviewing inspiring women just like Nikki.
Amazing.
So subscribe to my YouTube channel and we will see you next time right here on Living Room Wisdom.